Chapter 11 Kyuubi, what? Motor? Go and invite Tathagata Buddha. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Heads up. You just iced Yuan Fei Asma and unlocked a medium achievement. Here's a medium achievement drawl. You took out 32 Konoha ANBU ninja. That's 3 elementary achievements. Congrats. You get 3 elementary achievement draws. The system notifications popped up, right on cue. Except, the timing sucked. Right now, earth and fire style jutsu from a ton of Konoha ninja, had turned a huge chunk of Konoha into a volcanic wasteland, and Chen Yiban was buried under the molten rock, along with his second stage Susanoo. See that? That's the power of the will of fire. Tsunade pointed at the lava-covered scene, practically screaming. Kakashi, Shikaku, good job, you too, she said, turning to them. Shikaku was the brains behind the joint attack, and Kakashi executed it. As Konoha's resident genius, Shikaku had cooked up the best way to take down Chen Yiban, at least for now. Uchiha Madara, way too powerful. How could the legend of our clan go down like that? Sasuke, watching from the sidelines, was pissed. He just couldn't believe it. Okay, being mobbed by that many ninja, anyone could get overwhelmed, but this was the Uchiha clan leader. A ninja as famous as Senju Hashirama, the god of shinobi, himself, shouldn't end up like this. What's going on? Why did the dude in the red armor kill Uncle Asuma? Naruto seemed totally lost. That guy. I think he's the legendary ninja Madara Uchiha. Tenten whispered to Neji, totally freaked out. The idea that Madara Uchiha was still alive was insane, but the guy looked exactly like the Madara statue in the Valley of the End, plus, the way he handled all those ninja, including Tsunade, seemed to prove it really was Madara Uchiha. You. Uchiha Madara? Naruto blurted out, shocked. The legendary ninja? Isn't he supposed to be dead? He was totally confused. I don't know, but he's definitely not dead. And, how is he so young? Neji was just as bewildered. Asuma-sensei. Shikamaru, Ino, and Choji all looked devastated. Kurenai felt the same way. Fifth Hokage, did he really? Kakashi approached Tsunade, his voice trailing off. Of course, he wanted the guy dead. But it seemed too easy, way too easy. A ninja legend shouldn't go down like that. Besides, Kakashi had seen Chen Yiban just standing there, letting them blast him with earth and fire style jutsu, without even trying to dodge. Something felt wrong, very wrong. Tsunade, still basking in the glow of her pep talk, frowned. Kakashi. She started to say something, but then, **shrunk, a massive blue Susanoo chakra blade shot up from the ground under Tsunade. It impaled her right through the chest. Hokage-sama. Kakashi's eyes went wide. The ANBU and civilian ninja around them screamed. Grandma Tsunade. Naruto was in shock. A red figure slowly emerged from the ground, along with the blue Susanoo. Uchiha Madara might not be an earth-style master, but he could still pull it off, and Chen Yiban, now rocking all of Madara's power, could definitely handle it. Your so-called will of fire is garbage to me. Chen Yiban said coldly, watching Tsunade slump, skewered by his second stage Susanoo sword. Damn it, he's still alive, Kakashi growled, furious. Bastard. Let Grandma Tsunade go. Naruto yelled, charging onto the battlefield. He made a shadow clone and started forming a Rasengan in his right hand. Here we go again. Sasuke thought, watching Naruto charge, remembering their fight on the roof. He clenched his fists in frustration. Chen Yiban turned his Mangekyo Sharingan toward Naruto, in that instant. The nine-tailed fox inside Naruto woke up with a jolt. This power is colder than my own chakra. Madara. How is he still alive? Kurama was sweating bullets. Seeing Naruto charge toward the guy, Kyuubi snapped. Whoosh! It dragged Naruto into the sealed space. Hey, Kyuubi, why am I here? I gotta save Grandma Tsunade. Naruto found himself in the familiar sewer landscape. He immediately pointed at the Nine Tails and yelled. "Shut up, brat!" Kyuubi roared. "Do you even know who that is? You were just going to run right up to him. Are you trying to get killed?" Kyuubi was furious. Naruto scratched his head. Niji and Tenten said the guy who killed Uncle Asuma might be the legendary ninja Madara Uchiha. Kyuubi got even more agitated. "It's really him." Naruto could tell something was different about the nine-tailed fox. "Hey, Kyuubi, you sound kind of scared. Just shut up and stay away from him. The farther away, the better." Kyuubi yelled. "Why?" Naruto asked. "No reason. Just do it." Kyuubi roared, and he tossed Naruto back to the real world. "Get out of here." Kyuubi's voice echoed in his head. "No way. Grandma Tsunade's in danger. I have to save her." Naruto shook his head. "Idiot. Who do you think you are? Senju Hashirama?" Kyuubi was frantic. "If you get me enslaved by that guy again, I'll tear you to pieces. You self-righteous little brat." Chapter 12. Human beings like light, but they always use dark methods. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The first Uchiha to ever unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan, he's seriously strong. Sasuke watched Chen Yiban's blue Susanoo second stage chakra blade pierce Tsunade and couldn't help but sigh. All those fire and earth style ninjas kept throwing everything they had at him. And Chen Yiban was totally fine, not even a scratch. Sasuke was amazed, but this guy really seemed to be the strongest leader the Uchiha clan ever had. Even though Sasuke was a Konoha genin and Chen Yiban was the enemy invading Konoha, he couldn't help but hope that this Uchiha legend would completely crush them. Always smiling. He's always smiling. Maybe it was time for the rest of Konoha to get a taste of what it's like to lose everything. Sasuke couldn't help but think darkly to himself. Chen Yiban looked at Tsunade, who was playing dead on the tip of his Susanoo chakra blade, then he noticed something and glanced at Naruto. Naruto's behavior had caught his attention. "Don't worry. Kurama, hold on a sec, I'm coming to put a collar on you." Looking at Naruto, Chen Yiban's scarlet eyes seemed to see right through to the nine-tailed fox inside him, and a smile crept across his face. "You freakin' jerk." Kurama roared inside Naruto, but mostly, he just felt disgusted and uneasy. Clang! Hearing Chen Yiban talking to Kurama, Tsunade suddenly snapped, blasting away his Susanoo's second stage chakra sword with one hand. "You're not laying a finger on Naruto." Tsunade yelled, enraged. At the same time, *bang, she charged forward, slamming a powerful kick into Chen Yiban's Susanoo's second stage. Immediately, crack spiderwebbed across the not-so-sturdy Susanoo. Such power, worthy of Hokage-sama. Guy couldn't help but marvel. Tsunade, determined to completely shatter the Susanoo, kept hammering it with her fists. "Go to hell." *bang. Crash, but, unexpectedly, Chen Yiban stepped out of the Susanoo and met Tsunade's furious assault head-on, fists flying. The instant their fists collided, a shockwave of chakra exploded outward with incredible force, except, Tsunade's fist was stopped. How could this be? The Konoha ninjas were stunned. Even Tsunade stared at Chen Yiban in disbelief. She couldn't believe it. How could anyone dare to challenge her strength head-on? And actually, match her? Tsunade was dumbfounded. "If it were Hashirama, I wouldn't have taken him on like this. But you're just gravel, not even half as good as me." Chen Yiban's scarlet Mangekyo Sharingan eyes locked onto the shocked Tsunade with open disdain, then, boom, terrifying chakra surged through his fist. In an instant, he overwhelmed Tsunade, the woman who prided herself on her raw power, in terms of sheer strength. What? Staggering back from the blow, Tsunade's face was a mask of disbelief. She lost its strength, the one thing she always excelled at. How could that be? Just then, Chen Yiban dodged what seemed to be a non-existent attack, then, snap, with his Mangekyo Sharingan active, Chen Yiban dodged the attack, and with one swift, decisive motion, he grasped something invisible. It quickly became clear that a certain ninjutsu had just been negated. He grabbed a sickly-looking Konoha ninja by the throat with his gloved hand. Was that Hayate Gecko? In the story, shouldn't he have already died at the hands of the Sand Village ninjas? Why was he still alive? Were there some minor changes to the storyline? Whatever, not important. It was better if he didn't die. It gave Chen Yiban another chance to win the achievement lottery. Humans always say they love the light, but they're always using shameful, dark methods. Holding Hayate by the throat, Chen Yiban spoke softly, as if to himself. Hayate. Nearby, a beautiful figure with purple hair looked anxiously at the moonlight Hayate in Chen Yiban's grasp. Let him go. She drew her sword and charged towards Chen Yiban, driven by the desperation to save her lover. She threw caution to the wind, ignoring all strategy and ninjutsu. Meanwhile, Hayate waved his blade feebly, trying to stab Chen Yiban in the neck, but, swish, Chen Yiban swiftly backhanded and grabbed Hayate's wrist. Then, with a sickening thud, Chen Yiban forced Hayate to stab himself in the throat with his own blade. The sharp metal pierced straight through from front to back. Gah! Blood gurgled from Hayate's mouth. His body slumped lifelessly to the ground. Hyuuga ran halfway, and stared blankly at Hayate's body. You bastard! Naruto yelled furiously. He overestimated himself and tried to charge Chen Yiban. Luckily, Niji, Tenten, Shikamaru, Choji, and other Konoha heroes stopped the impulsive Naruto. Calm down, Naruto. We can't take on someone this strong. We can only watch this fight. Shikamaru grabbed Naruto's shoulders, trying to reason with him. If he could, Shikamaru would avenge Asuma himself, but it was impossible. The gap in power was too great. Not even Hokage Tsunade or Kakashi seemed to be a match for him. Naruto, don't interfere with Hokage-sama and Kakashi-sensei. Sakura said softly, punching Naruto in the back of the head. On the other side, Kurenai glanced at Hyuga, standing frozen in shock, then at Asuma's body. Tears welled up in her eyes. Chen Yiban didn't care about who he killed. All he knew was that the system prompt in his mind was telling him he had another chance to sign in for the junior achievement. 8 inner gates, 7th gate, the gate of shock, open. Watching Chen Yiban slaughter 2 friends and dozens of Konoha Anbu ninjas, Guy snapped and opened the 7th gate. You are unforgivable. Hiradora. Chapter 13 Akimichi Clan, Yanzhong Clan, Hyuga Clan. Thousands of ninjas. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Guy. Kakashi watched Metkai unleash the 7th gate of the 8 inner gates with a mix of awe and concern. Guy was radiating an intense blue aura. The sheer power of his chakra was staggering. Watching from every direction, the other ninjas were filled with dread. Mr. Guy. Lee exclaimed from afar, his eyes shining with excitement. That kind of power. Niji activated his Byakugan, giving him a clearer picture of the overwhelming chakra surging within Guy. Oh. Chen Yiban noticed Guy's transformation. Just the 7th gate. Still no red steam. Guess I'm still being underestimated. Or maybe that's all he can manage right now. Chen Yiban remained eerily calm, a faint smile playing on his lips. He acted as if Guy's massive chakra boost was nothing to worry about. Whoosh! Chen Yiban took it up a notch and unleashed Susanoo's 3rd stage, the same massive Susanoo from the barbecue restaurant, with 2 faces, 4 arms, and standing dozens of meters tall, materialized around him. This should do it, Chen Yiban said with a smirk. Then, he declared. Prepare to face the might of Konoha's blue beast, you bastard. Hiradora. Under everyone's watchful eyes, Guy leaped into the air toward Susanoo, punch, roar Guy's fist erupted with a devastating air cannon, taking the form of a majestic white tiger. The white tiger roared as it hurtled toward the colossal Susanoo. Chen Yiban responded in kind. Susanoo's 4 hands simultaneously conjured the Yasaka Magatama, for were launched at once. Chen Yiban focused, and Susanoo hurled the 4 Yasaka Magatama straight at the oncoming Hiradora. Boom. the 4 Yasaka Magatama collided with the Hiradora air cannon in a cataclysmic blast. The resulting shockwave obliterated everything in its path. Whoa, that's intense. Naruto yelled as he was swept away. Lady Tsunade, are you alright? Shizun asked, rushing to Tsunade's side with concern. I'm fine, Shizun, Tsunade replied. Lady Tsunade, the seal on your forehead, did you use creation rebirth? Shizun exclaimed, noticing the diamond-shaped crystal on Tsunade's forehead was gone. Her entire body was covered in a network of black chakra markings. Tsunade had released her in seal, which stored chakra for years, and used creation rebirth to heal the grievous chest wound inflicted by Chen Yiban Susanoo. Tsunade ignored Shizun's question, her gaze fixed on the clashing Yasaka Magatama and Hiradora. Initially, 1 or 2 Yasaka Magatama barely slowed the Hiradora down. The white tiger continued its advance with terrifying speed, but with 3 or 4, the Hiradora's speed dropped dramatically. He actually stopped the Hiradora. Guy, now flushed red and emitting jets of blue steam, was visibly surprised. His understanding of the legendary ninja, Uchiha Madara, deepened. He truly is the legendary ninja Shura Madara Uchiha, star. But my youth isn't over yet. Morning Peacock. Guy, still maintaining the 7th gate, launched the taijutsu he used while at the 6th gate, the Morning Peacock, boom 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 star. Countless fiery air cannons erupted like a swarm of peacocks. They joined the Hiradora in assaulting the volley of Yasaka Magatama. Interesting. Chen Yiban sneered. Susanoo conjured 4 chakra swords in its 4 hands, unleashing a flurry of devastating slashes. Bang 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 star. Each side continued their relentless attacks. The powerful shockwaves tore through Konoha, leveling every building within hundreds of meters. This is bad. Everyone, get back. Tsunade realized the 2 powers were about to collide in a massive explosion. She yelled at the Konoha ninjas to run for their lives. She then retreated as well. Sure enough, boom, a massive explosion ripped through the air. The shockwave obliterated Konoha's homes within a kilometer. Even Kakashi, Nara Shikaku, Akimichi Choza, Naruto, Niji, and the other Konoha ninjas who ran for their lives were still blown away by the blast. Guy! Kakashi yelled, grabbing Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke and taking cover behind a wall to shield them from the impact. He was worried about Guy. Thump star. With the 7 gates still open, Guy blocked the worst of the shockwave with his hands and landed heavily not far from Kakashi. Huff, huff. Guy gasped, exhausted. Guy! Kakashi shouted. Mr. Guy! Naruto added. Sakura and Sasuke looked at Guy in awe. They probably hadn't imagined the level of power Guy was hiding. Kakashi, neither the Hiradora nor the Morning Peacock were enough to defeat the legendary ninja Madara Uchiha. Guy looked over at Kakashi and then toward Chen Yiban. In his mind, he made a decision. One last time, leave Konoha, or I'll have to eliminate you all. Chen Yiban, floating atop the Susanoo 3rd stage, coldly surveyed Tsunade, Guy, and the others with his Mangekyo Sharingan. Damn it, how did Grandpa manage to fight someone like this one-on-one? Tsunade thought, feeling a wave of despair. Guy had already opened 7 gates. And there was nothing she could do to help him. Chen Yiban on Susanoo's head wasn't even injured. Susanoo was perfectly intact. Uchiha Madara, his strength was overwhelming. Swish 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 swish. More Konoha ninjas arrived at the battlefield, from Akimichi clan, Nara clan, Yamanaka clan to the Byakugan, and the leader of the Hyuga clan, Hyuga Hizashi, also brought Byakugan ninjas to this battlefield. In an instant, over 1,000 ninjas surrounded the battlefield. Chapter 14 Question. To use or not to use? Susanoo. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Naruto. Hinata, having just arrived on the battlefield with her father, Hyuga Hayashi, couldn't help but glance at Naruto Uzumaki, who stood not far from Kakashi and the others. What is that? Staring at the towering, blue Susanoo, dozens of feet tall, Hinata frowned, then, turning to Tsunade, she began, Lady Hokage, the situation, this guy's a real legend. She trailed off, unsure how to continue. Tsunade stared at the immense blue Susanoo. That's Grandpa's only rival, Madara Uchiha. Turning to the thousands of elite ninja from Konoha's various clans who had gathered, she announced, everyone. I have to tell you, the figure atop that blue Susanoo is possibly the strongest enemy Konoha has faced in the last 50 years. His name, Madara Uchiha. Whether we can protect Konoha, depends on all of us, right here, right now. Tsunade tried her best to rally the troops, emphasizing to the newly arrived Hyuuga, Yamanaka, Nara, and other clan ninjas just how dire the situation was. The legendary ninja. Madara Uchiha. How can that be? Isn't he dead? Yeah, how could someone that strong still be alive? Besides, that blue monster, it feels so cold and powerful. Can we really beat an enemy like that? He's a legend, as famous as the first Hokage, the god of shinobi. A wave of shocked whispers rippled through the assembled ninjas. Meanwhile, inside the blue Susanoo, Madara crossed his arms. So many fools showing up. Looks like things are getting interesting. Despite saying his situation was unfavorable, a scornful smirk played on his lips. Madara didn't take the ninja of Konoha seriously at all. Bastard. Tsunade saw the disdain on Madara's face and clenched her fists in frustration. Kakashi stepped forward, his voice slightly raised. So what if you're the legendary Madara Uchiha? We have allies all around us. You're all alone. Madara's smirk widened. Is that so? Suddenly, the Susanoo began to weave hand signs, whoosh, 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 star. In an instant, dozens of identical figures appeared around Madara. They leapt from the Susanoo and landed in front of the Konoha ninjas, 30 shadow clones of Madara. Didn't you say I was alone? What about now, star? Shadow clones. Why's he gotta use that jutsu, too? Naruto exclaimed, eyes wide. Sasuke felt a surge of complicated emotions. Sakura stared at the towering Susanoo, fear creeping into her eyes. A question for you all, Madara's voice echoed from within the Susanoo, his crimson Sharingan eyes gleaming. Will these clones use Susanoo, or won't they? A faint smile graced his lips. Tsunade realized what was coming and her eyes widened in shock, as if to confirm her worst fears. Whoosh, 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 star. Each of the 30 shadow clones blazed with blue chakra, which coalesced into a towering, blue Susanoo. They were nearly identical to the Susanoo housing Madara himself. 30 of them, completely blocked the field of vision. Only a sea of blue remained. How is this possible? Every Konoha ninja, including Tsunade, Naruto, Kakashi, Sasuke, Sakura, Kurenai, Enko, Ino, stared in disbelief, utterly shocked. How can there be so many? This is insane, star. Kakashi regretted his earlier bravado. Damn it, why did I have to run my mouth? Star. The Konoha ninjas were paralyzed by shock, leaving them wide open. The 30 Madara clones didn't hesitate, like swinging swords, like hurling Yasaka Magatama, they unleashed a devastating barrage. Yasaka Magatama, Susanoo chakra blades, all were incredibly fast and terrifyingly powerful. A chorus of screams erupted. The Susanoo blades and Yasaka Magatama reaped a bloody toll, killed 10 Konoha ninjas. Achieved basic achievement. Reward, basic achievement gacha ticket X1. Killed, Choza Akimichi. Achieved intermediate achievement. Reward, intermediate achievement gacha ticket X1. Killed, Choza Akimichi's arm was severed by Madara himself. He fell under the combined assault of 2 Susanoos, several gigantic blue chakra blades pierced his heart, and he collapsed, defeated. Dad. Choji, who was also fighting nearby, cried out in anguish. Bastard. Consuming a chakra pill, he transformed into a butterfly, rushing to his father's aid. Choji, don't be reckless. Shikamaru shouted, knowing full well that a genin like Choji was no match for a legendary figure like Madara Uchiha. but Choji was beyond reason. Bang, bang, Susanoo effortlessly swatted away the butterfly form Choji, while Daihua, butterfly form, was powerful, it depended on the opponent. Whoosh, the Susanoo prepared to cleave Choji in two with its chakra blade, ready to send father and son to the afterlife. Gah! Choji coughed up blood, unable to dodge, he braced for the fatal blow. Boom! A green blur appeared, kicking the Susanoo's chakra blade aside. It was Metkai. Hiradora, roar, Metkai unleashed his 7 gates super skill, Daytime Tiger, directly blasting back the Susanoo in front of him. He had saved Choji Akimichi. However, there were now 30 Susanoo third stage on the battlefield. The Konoha ninjas were being slaughtered. 8 trigrams Palm, Hinata Hizashi and his clan fought desperately against the Susanoo, but their efforts were futile. Damn you! Die! Tsunade continued to fight, but the Susanoo were too much for her. Ugh! A Yasaka Magatama struck her abdomen. If creation rebirth wasn't constantly active, Tsunade would have died long ago. Just a bunch of fools, as I thought. Madara watched coldly. Meanwhile, Metkai, with a look of fierce determination, locked his gaze on Madara. Chapter 15 Metkai opens all 8 doors. Chen Yiban Susanoo is in full bloom. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Susanoo Chen Yiban, hands clasped over his chest, finally noticed Metkai's change. Looks like you've finally made up your mind. Gotta say. I'm looking forward to this. Chen Yiban's blood-red Mangekyo Sharingan flared, and a smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. The power he'd gained from Uchiha Madara was immense. Now, Chen Yiban craved an opponent who could truly push him, and so. Kakashi, Metkai's voice cut through the air. He was looking at Kakashi, who was struggling to fight Chen Yiban's shadow clones near Susanoo. Kakashi was badly hurt, his arms and abdomen were ripped open and bleeding, but he was still pouring chakra into ninjutsu attacks on the Susanoo Third Order alongside other Konoha ninja. Then, he heard his best friend's voice. Kakashi leaped back from the Susanoo Third Order, and looked toward Metkai. Kakashi, this time. I'm gonna win. Metkai met Kakashi's gaze and delivered the line. Metkai and Kakashi were lifelong rivals, they'd spent years competing, and Metkai usually lost, but this time, he felt sure he'd win. What are you planning? Kakashi had a sinking feeling. Just then, Zheng, all Chen Yiban's shadow clones, Susanoo Third Order, froze mid-attack, then, they were gone. All the chakra flowed back into Chen Yiban. Chen Yiban knew what Metkai was about to do. He needed to pull all his power into himself, because he was likely facing a physical technique of the highest order. Even Chen Yiban, with the full combat power of the Foundation Ban, couldn't be complacent. Right now, the only person in Konoha who could make Chen Yiban take him seriously, was Metkai. So, Chen Yiban dismissed the shadow clones he'd been toying with the Konoha ninja, and focused all his strength on his main body. It was a sign of respect for his soon-to-be opponent. Have you finally reached that level? Seeing Chen Yiban's shadow clones vanish, Tsunade jumped to Metkai's side, her face a mix of surprise and hope. Hokage-sama, get everyone as far away as possible. The blue beast of Konoha is about to burn his youth for the village. Metkai crouched low, gathering his strength. Chen Yiban could have interrupted him, but he didn't. He wouldn't sit idly either. *TZSS*. Suddenly, blood spurted from Chen Yiban's right eye in Susanoo's head. Chen Yiban had dug out his original, right eye, Mangekyo Sharingan. Then, he stashed it in the system's internal space unnoticed. At the same time, he slapped a simple medical ninjutsu onto his bloody right eye socket. The next second, after the medical ninjutsu faded and Chen Yiban's hand dropped, a 3 Magatama Sharingan sat in the socket. Now, Chen Yiban's left eye was in Mangekyo state, but his right eye was a normal 3 Magatama Sharingan. He'd called back his shadow clones to amp up his main body. Why switch to a weaker Sharingan? Teacher Akai. Shaoli seemed to understand Metkai's resolve, and looked at his mentor with tear-filled eyes, a man who was like both a teacher and a father, and so. Xiao Li. Be brave and carry on our youth. Metkai glanced at his disciple in the distance, then, under the gaze of Konoha ninja from every direction. 8 gates released formation. The 8th gate, the gate of death. Open. Metkai roared as he charged his chakra to the max. Boom! Crimson steam exploded, Metkai transformed into a blood-red specter, his entire body wreathed in bloody steam, looking as if he was burning from the inside out. Teacher Akai. Shaoli sobbed, *Zhenghu, star, the overwhelming chakra erupting from Metkai shook the air, whipping up hurricane-force winds, they swept in all directions. Kakashi raised his arms to shield his face from the gale, his eyes locked on the blood-red figure. His mind flashed back to the first time he and his father met Metkai as kids. Back then, Kakashi's father, Hatake Sakumo, had said that Metkai would definitely become a powerful ninja. Little Kakashi hadn't taken him seriously. But now, Father, you were right. Kakashi's eyes were full of awe. Meanwhile, this power. Hyuga Hizashi, Hyuga Niji, Hyuga Hinata, and many other Hyuga clan members with Byakugan activated their eyes and stared at Metkai, their faces etched with surprise. Tsunade watched with a mix of awe and regret. She knew what came after opening all 8 gates. But the chakra was undeniable. Even the legendary ninja, Madara Uchiha, wouldn't be able to defeat Metkai, who was currently unleashing absolute power at the cost of his life. As for this chakra, this blood-red steam, I acknowledge you. Then, let's dance. Chen Yiban, inside the Susanoo 3rd level, felt a surge of adrenaline. Cheng, star, the next moment, Chen Yiban's left eye, Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, snapped open. I'll fight with everything I've got, too. Boom, star, Chen Yiban's Susanoo 3rd level ballooned in size. Finally, it grew into an inflated Susanoo over 80 meters tall. Every Konoha ninja was dumbstruck. But it's not over yet. Definitely. Chen Yiban smiled and clenched his right fist. Swish, star. Zengshengzeng, star. The bloated Susanoo swelled even larger, and blue armor began to appear, until finally, the Susanoo complete body, from the original timeline stood before every Konoha ninja. Chapter 16 Chen Yiban's Excitement. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Now Chen Yiban only had one eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan. Susan complete body, was only about 130 meters away, not the 200+ meters like Madara's in the show, but, compared to the 40 meters of the earlier Susan Third Order, the Susan complete body was already huge, more than 3 times bigger. So, huge. Tsunadeheim stared at the complete Susanoo with disbelief. This. Kakashi, Narashikaku, Yuhi Kurinai, Mitarashi Anko, and many other elite Konoha ninjas were shocked. The power gap was just insane. Uchiha Madara, is he even human anymore? Yuhi Kurinai muttered to herself. Is this the strongest in our clan? With that kind of power, if I had it. Uchiha Sasuke's eyes widened, his heart burned with the desire for that power. Then, he could get revenge. He's as scary as a tailed beast. Hinata Hizu exclaimed. Brains are useless against raw power, Narashikaku muttered, clenching his fists in frustration. Orochimaru is nothing compared to a guy like this, Mitarashi Anko said, bewildered. As Orochimaru's former student, Mitarashi Anko knew how terrifying he was, especially with Orochimaru's recent invasion of Konoha. He even killed the old man, the 3rd Hokage, the strongest Hokage in history. Orochimaru inspired terror, but, looking at the 130+ meter, Susanoo complete body, in front of her, Anko wondered, Orochimaru who? Meanwhile, across Konoha, on a distant rooftop. That is. Shimura Danzo, surrounded by root ninjas, watched the battlefield. He saw the frighteningly huge Susan complete body. Even the devious Danzo Shimura looked stunned. Behind him, the root ninjas were in shock. 2 faces and 4 arms. It's actually the legend. Danzo had to admit that the legendary ninja Shura Uchiha Madara had returned. As a former disciple of the second Hokage, Senju Tobarama, Shimura Danzo knew about the legendary Uchiha Madara. He'd seen drawings of the legendary Uchiha Madara's Susanoo. Finally, on the battlefield, gears engaged. Metkai, having opened all 8 gates, stared at Chen Yiban, his face flushed. Then, Morning Peacock. Boom, Metkai charged. His target was Chen Yiban in the Susanoo complete body. Everyone, fall back. Clear the battlefield. After reacting and remembering Metkai's request to clear the area, Tsunade turned and yelled at the Konoha ninjas. Kai. Kakashi glanced at the blood-red back of his friend. Charging forward, he chose to trust his longtime rival and best friend, Metkai. Quickly, the Konoha ninjas started to retreat, in response. Bring it on. The eternal Mangekyo Sharingan in Chen Yiban's left eye flared with power as he laughed. Then, with a thought, the huge, Susan complete body turned to face 8 Gate Sky. At the same time, inside Susanoo, Chen Yiban quickly formed 3 hand seals. Zap. A certain technique activated. Almost instantly, Susanoo's fist collided with 8 Gate Sky, but Morning Peacock. Boom boom. The giant Susanoo's fist shattered. During the attack, the Morning Peacock erupted with winds, tearing up the land hundreds of feet below Susanoo. Oh, the power of blood-red steam. Chen Yiban's smile didn't falter. The next second, he poured eye power and chakra into the fist, instantly repairing it, but boom 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 boom. 8 Gate Sky didn't stop, giving Chen Yiban no time to react, relentlessly pounding Susanoo. Crack. Finally, Susan's complete body cracked, some parts seriously damaged. This guy, haha. Chen Yiban sounded excited. If 8 Gate Sky's Morning Peacock was this powerful, what would Evening Elephant be like? It was truly amazing and exciting. Meanwhile, go get bushy brows. Uzumaki Naruto cried out as he saw 8 Gate Sky take down the Susanoo. I can't even see him move. Uchiha Sasuke, using his Sharingan, couldn't even track Metkai. Kai, show the power of youth. Kakashi said with respect and trust for his friend. Kai, break his shell. Tsunade clenched her fists and shouted into the air. Now, crack. Metkai felt his bones being torn apart, as if they were cracking. Opening all 8 gates was taking its toll. Metkai felt pain, his movement slowing. Chen Yiban saw the opportunity. You can still dance, right? Don't disappoint me. Zap, eye power and chakra surged, instantly restoring Susanoo's broken parts. At the same time, clang. The complete Susanoo sword was drawn, a sword strike. Like an aurora shining across the heavens, aimed for 8 Gate Sky. Morning Peacock. 8 Gate Sky didn't dodge, but kicked out the Morning Peacock again to protect Konoha. Suddenly, boom. 2 powerful forces collided. Like a nuclear explosion, the mushroom cloud bloomed. The powerful shock wave shook Susanoo, forcing it to retreat. Ha ha ha. Yes. You're as exciting as fighting Hashirama. Keep me entertained. Chen Yiban, having stabilized Susanoo, was filled with a crazed fighting spirit. 8 Gate Sky's face was twisted in pain. He was reaching his limit. Not even Morning Peacock. So. Chapter 17. I would like to call you the strongest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Alright, Red Steam, let's see if you've still got some juice left in you for one more dance. Come on. Keep me entertained. Chen Yiban, his face a mask of insane battle lust, steadied Susanoo's complete form. Instantly, the parts of Susanoo that Shixiang had pulverized were repaired, restored to perfection by Chen Yiban's will, and the raw power of his chakra and ocular abilities. Damn it, you can't even kill him like this. Tsunade was terrified. Might Guy had unleashed all 8 gates. And still couldn't do anything to this bastard, Uchiha Madara, this legendary ninja, the monster Uchiha Madara, the specter of the old ninja world, really was that powerful, that terrifying. How did Grandpa manage to suppress an opponent this strong back in the day? Tsunade felt a wave of powerlessness wash over her, facing the legendary Uchiha Madara. Even Tsunade, once hailed as one of the Sannin of Konoha and now the fifth Hokage, felt utterly helpless. Uchiha Madara was just too damn strong. This battle is just. Uchiha Sasuke, Uzumaki Naruto, and Haruno Sakura watched in stunned silence. The clash between Chen Yiban and Eight Gates Guy had been absolutely earth-shattering. Both Chen Yiban's complete Susanoo and Guy's Morning Peacock were spectacles of the highest order. Before this, the three Konoha genin, Uchiha Sasuke, Uzumaki Naruto, and Haruno Sakura, couldn't even imagine a ninja with that kind of power existing in the world. This was power beyond even Naruto's, wasn't it? Unbelievable. But still, this enemy, who was more than likely the legendary Uchiha Madara, remained unscathed, standing across from the colossal, 100-meter-tall Susanoo, giving everyone a sense of utter despair. The legendary ninja, Madara Uchiha. Hyuga Hinata, head of the Hyuga clan, watched Chen Yiban instantly restore Susanoo's complete body, her eyes wide with amazement. They say when you open all 8 gates of the 8 inner gates, you instantly gain power beyond even that of a Hokage. But facing Might Guy with all 8 gates open, this guy was still untouched. Incredible. Too strong. He was an opponent they simply couldn't hope to defeat. Even the Hyuga clan, with their Byakugan, felt insignificant in the face of this. Hey 8. I'm sorry. I can't even avenge you. Moegi Shien sank to her knees, tears streaming down her face. Chen Yiban was too powerful. Moegi Shien knew she could never reach the level to fight him, no matter how hard she trained. Look at the complete form of Susanoo, it was like a god. A power beyond anything a mortal could possess. Moegi Shien knew that she was powerless to avenge Hay-8. Yuhi Kurenai, Nara Shikamaru, Yamanaka Ino, and Akimichi Choji were in the same mood, staring at Asuma's body lying nearby. Chen Yiban had killed Sarutobi Asuma, then beheaded Akimichi Choza, making himself the eternal enemy of the entire Konoha village. Morning Peacock didn't work, so I have to use my trump card. With all 8 gates open, Might Guy rested for a little over 10 seconds, then stood before Chen Yiban again, fists clenched. Ha ha ha. Chen Yiban roared with laughter inside his complete Susanoo. Okay. Excellent. For the first time in his life, Chen Yiban felt he'd met a worthy opponent. His fighting spirit was at a fever pitch. Guy. Kakashi, standing some distance back, watched his best friend, covered in blood-red steam. With deep worry, Kakashi knew that Guy was about to make a suicidal gamble, and opening all 8 gates meant Guy was already doomed. Prepare yourself. The next second, Might Guy crouched slightly, *WHOM-*. A massive torrent of blood-red chakra burst forth behind Might Guy, quickly coalescing into a giant, bloody dragon's head. Sensei Guy. Rock Lee stared at his mentor in shock. 8 inner gates formation. Night Guy. Might Guy roared, the last roar of his life. RR. Behind him, Night Guy's bloody dragon opened its gaping maw and roared to the heavens, *boom-*. The intense aura sent shockwaves in every direction. There's a move even more powerful than Morning Peacock. Tsunade couldn't believe it. This power. Guy, this time, I've lost. Kakashi couldn't help but sigh sadly. He knew in his heart that his best friend would certainly fall, but looking at such terrifying power, if Guy fell, the legendary ninja Uchiha Madara wouldn't survive either, because this, Night Guy, felt 100 times stronger than Morning Peacock had been. Morning Peacock had almost shattered the opponent's complete Susanoo. This time, they would definitely defeat the enemy. That Guy actually possessed such incredible strength. Mitarashi Enko had a look of surprise and admiration on her face as well. Guy, please, kill that demon. Yuki Shien screamed at the top of her lungs. Guy, today the whole of Konoha will witness your greatest power. The enemy before you, we're counting on you. Tsunade stepped forward and shouted loudly, hearing this. Drink. Might Guy focused all his energy, *boom-*. The already enormous bloody dragon's head grew even larger. Roar. The blood dragon roared with even more ferocity, at that moment. This power. Ha ha ha, I acknowledge your strength completely. Of all the opponents I've ever faced, I would have to call you the strongest in taijutsu. Inside Susanoo, Chen Yiban felt a faint touch of death, but Chen Yiban wasn't afraid, he was wildly excited. Because he knew, he couldn't die. Night Guy. The next second, Might Guy and the bloody dragon's head merged as one, then, bearing the massive blood-colored dragon's head, he charged with murderous intent at Chen Yiban inside the Susanoo. Chen Yiban wasn't about to sit still and wait to die, he tried to swing the massive Susanoo sword, but realized that the entire Susanoo was stuck and difficult to move. Space is distorted, just like in the show. Chen Yiban surveyed the surroundings and saw that the space around Susanoo's complete body was indeed completely warped, no wonder Susanoo was having trouble moving. Roar! At that moment, Night Guy appeared before Susanoo. Chapter 18 The Back Mountain of Konoha split into two. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Boom! The moment Ye Kai's kick landed on Susan's full body form, a deafening crash echoed as she completely crumbled. Simultaneously, bang! As Susan's body shattered, Chen Yiban, previously nestled within, was launched, unable to evade. Ga! Chen Yiban coughed up a massive amount of blood, it felt like every bone in his body had been pulverized. All this happened in a split second. But Ye Kai's momentum didn't stop there. He continued his assault, sending Chen Yiban hurtling away. The ground shook violently, like a catastrophic earthquake. To the shock of everyone present, the iconic Hokage rock faces were completely obliterated. Chen Yiban had only managed to damage the statues slightly before, focusing on the Senju pillars, but now, they were gone. And in their place was a chasm, 80 meters wide, over 100 meters deep, and a staggering 1,000 meters long, the super gully carved out by Ye Kai's power. No way. The onlookers were speechless. Throughout Konoha, from ninja to civilian, all stared in disbelief at the massive ravine. The 8 inner gates, all 8 open, is that the power? Hidden in the shadows, Danzo and the root ninjas were visibly shaken. Konoha's back mountains had been ripped in half. Guy. Kakashi was stunned, snapping out of it. He immediately raced off to find Guy, even knowing there was likely no hope, he had to be there for his friend. Everyone. Tsunade reacted instantly, waving her hand to give orders. If Madara Uchiha is still alive, take him down. And, find and try to save Guy, our hero of Konoha. Yes, Lady Hokage. The Konoha ninjas responded with fervor. Instantly, countless ninja surged towards the back mountains, Sasuke, Naruto, Sakura, Ino, Shikaku, Shikamaru, and countless others. Even some brave civilians couldn't resist the urge to see the aftermath. At that moment, everyone was filled with admiration and awe for Guy, who had pushed himself to the limit and become an unstoppable force. They all wanted to welcome back their Konoha hero. But as the first wave of ninja arrived at the chasm, they witnessed an unbelievable scene in the distance. I almost got taken out for real just now. Heh heh. Wearing crimson armor, with long hair billowing in the wind, Chen Yiban chuckled menacingly, a scythe in his hand, and, impaled in Guy's chest, the scythe's blade, Guy's body was charred black. After opening all 8 inner gates, his life force had been completely extinguished, the scythe through his heart sealed his fate. Guy. Kakashi, who was among the first to arrive, couldn't believe his eyes. How? Tsunade stumbled backward, shock and disbelief written on her face. Despair began to creep into her heart. Why? How could such a devastating attack like Ye Kai's fail to kill Madara Uchiha? Just how powerful was this man? Guy had unlocked all 8 of the inner gates. Power that momentarily surpassed Naruto's many times over. And yet, it wasn't enough to finish off the legendary ninja Madara Uchiha. He was still standing, unscathed, in his red armor and flowing hair. Impossible. He's not human. He's a demon. Woyuki Shien's sword slipped from her grasp, clattering to the ground. Her reaction mirrored the feeling of countless others, hope dashed, replaced by despair. How could a teacher with thick eyebrows like that just now? Naruto was experiencing a crisis of confidence. Is this the true power of the Uchiha? Sasuke gazed at Chen Yiban, the scythe still lodged in Guy's chest. With a burning desire, the current power duo were desperate for strength. Looking at Chen Yiban, Sasuke longed to possess such power that could definitely kill that man. Chen Yiban, looking down at the lifeless body of Guy, slowly withdrew the scythe. Shink. Little blood escaped from Guy's chest. Ye Kai's attack had drained nearly every drop of vitality from Guy's body. Congratulations. You have defeated 8-Gate Guy, unlocking a super achievement. Reward, Super Achievement Draw, 1. Temporary Achievement / Lottery Tiers, Beginner, Intermediate, Advanced, Super. Chen Yiban glanced at the system notification that only he could see. A super lottery, a welcome surprise, that he smiled faintly, then. You were a worthy opponent. I'll admit it, your power could have ended me. But. His eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and three-tomo Sharingan blazing, Chen Yiban gazed at Guy's fallen body and muttered softly, just then, plop. The crimson pupil of the three-tomo Sharingan in Chen Yiban's right eye dulled, the light vanished. Did you think I'd come to Konoha without a backup plan? After this final soliloquy, thunk. He plucked the lifeless three-tomo Sharingan from his right eye and tossed it aside. Teacher Guy. Rock Lee, impulsively activating the 8 inner gates, charged towards Chen Yiban in his red armor. Oh. Chen Yiban, about to insert the original right eye, Eternal Mangekyo, from the system's inventory, saw Lee's reckless charge. TCH. Chen Yiban smiled disdainfully. Chapter 19 The Eternal Kaleidoscope That Cannot Be Turned Off. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bang! The massive blue Susanoo materialized and swung its colossal arm. It slammed into Rock Lee, sending him flying. Lee! Naruto, Tenten, and Neji rushed to his side. Meanwhile, the Susa second stage formed around Chen Yiban, shielding him. He retrieved the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan he'd gotten from the system. Using crude medical techniques, he patched up the empty socket where his original right eye had been. Zing! Instantly, both Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan blazed with power. An overwhelming surge of chakra and ocular power erupted from Chen Yiban. Kyuubi, time to put you back in your cage. His crimson Eternal Mangekyo eyes burning with malice, Chen Yiban peered through Naruto, spotting the 9-tailed fox sealed inside. That power, damn it, he's got his old strength back. Kyuubi roared, alarmed. He yelled at Naruto, get out of here, you idiot. Now. No way. I can't leave Konoha now. I'm going to be Hokage. I won't run. Naruto declared stubbornly. You thick-headed, self-righteous brat. Kyuubi raged, on the verge of tears. These Konoha ninjas stood no chance against Chen Yiban. If Naruto didn't escape, the 9 tails would be someone's pet again. My medical ninjutsu's not cutting it, Chen Yiban muttered, realizing he couldn't close his right Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. The nerve connections in his right eye weren't properly fixed, forcing the eye to remain active, he thought. Maybe Tsunade, the medical ninja, could be useful. Chen Yiban glanced at Tsunade and smirked. I think I have, Azura's flesh, stored in my system inventory, right? That means it contains Azura's chakra. If I want to get it, that woman Tsunade might come in handy again. But she's not going to cooperate willingly. Wait a minute. She will. If I use that ability, it should work. I'll need to plan this out a bit. But it'll happen soon. I've got this, First, we grabbed the Hokage. Chen Yiban deactivated Susanoo's second stage and stepped forward slowly, sickle in hand. Thump. Thump, he advanced toward the ravine exit, where Tsunade and the other Konoha ninjas stood waiting. His primary objective, take control of Tsunade. Everyone, be careful. Tsunade, as the 5th Hokage, stood her ground. Hokage-sama. Shikaku Nara, Hizashi Hyuga, Enko Mitarashi, Kurinai Yuhi, Yugao Yuzuki, and many other Konoha ninja looked at Tsunade. Then. You're going down, you bastard. Enko Mitarashi stepped forward, standing beside Tsunade. Even if I'm not strong enough, I'll avenge Heiate, Yuzuki Yugao added. For Konoha. Finally, Shikaku Nara, Inoichi Yamanaka, Niji Hyuga, Hinata Hyuga, Kurinai Yuhi, Choji Akimichi, Shikamaru Nara, and the others joined them, standing shoulder to shoulder. Huh? Chen Yiban paused, surprised. Were these Konoha ninja still fighting back, even now? You see this? This is the will of fire we inherited from the first Hokage. You motorhead. Tsunade clenched her fists, pride burning in her eyes. Is that so? Chen Yiban's gaze turned cold. It looks like. I should start with you, the so-called fifth Hokage. Whoosh! He vanished, appearing in front of her in a heartbeat. He was lightning fast. Several ANBU ninja charged forward, trying to block him. Bang! 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 Thwack! Chen Yiban became a crimson blur amidst the ANBU, his sickle scything through flesh and bone. Each strike, each kick, was lethal. Raikiri. Kakashi lunged at Chen Yiban from the side, lightning crackling in his hand. Chen Yiban sidestepped the attack with ease. Suddenly, bang! 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 Several ninja hounds burst from the ground, Kakashi's summons, including Pakken and others. They swarmed toward Chen Yiban. Cheap trick. Chen Yiban kicked Kakashi away, then, he swung his sickle. Thwack! 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 The ninja hounds dissolved into puffs of white smoke. The ground was slick with dog blood. Pakken. Kakashi struggled to his feet. Bastard! Tsunade launched a devastating kick from above. Bang! Chen Yiban blocked with the haft of his sickle, the ground cracking under the force, but as Tsunade landed, bang! Chen Yiban channeled chakra into his legs and slammed his foot into Tsunade, sending her flying. Though she blocked with her arms, the force of his kick, stronger than her own, sent her reeling. Swing! A glint of steel flashed from behind Chen Yiban, who had just knocked Tsunade back. The blade was aimed at his head. Chen Yiban tilted his head slightly, dodging the strike. Then, he spun around like lightning. Clutch! His gloved hand clamped around the attacker's throat. It was a woman. With purple hair. It was Yuzuki Yugao. Care to dance? Chen Yiban sneered. Demon. Yugao, desperate and like moonlight Heiate, flung her sword at Chen Yiban, who caught it. Immediately, thwack! He impaled her with her own blade. Blood gushed from the wound. Damn you! Yugao gasped, her face contorted in pain. Chen Yiban tossed her aside like trash. Kakashi and the other ninja could only watch, helpless to save her. Your pathetic struggles are so ugly. Chapter 20. You are just a prostitute. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fire style, Dragon Flame Jutsu. Times end. Instantly, a dozen Konoha ninja unleashed their fire style jutsu at Chen Yiban. He, fresh from defacing Hua Maui Shien, cast a cold glance with his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, another unique move, huh? He didn't even bother with a Susanoo defense. Whoosh! In a flash, he drew another weapon from his system inventory, besides the sickle, the Uchiha fan. And whoosh! He absorbed all the incoming dragon flame jutsu. Then, with a flick of the Uchiha fan, he declared. Uchiha, wind, boom. The flames erupted back, even stronger. Aya! Dozens of Konoha ninja fell instantly. Chen Yiban stood, sickle in one hand, Uchiha fan in the other, two classic weapons. He radiated unstoppable power. Bang, 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 bang. What followed was a one-sided massacre. Killed 10 Konoha ninja. Elementary achievement unlocked. Reward, elementary achievement draw X1. Killed 20 Konoha ninja. Elementary achievement unlocked. Reward, elementary achievement draw X2. Decapitated, Chen Yiban had become a demon, a warlord of the battlefield, slaughtering everything. Life itself seemed reduced to data and tools for his achievement draws, just like the legendary ninja Shura, Madara Uchiha, during the Warring States period. Even more so than Madara in the original story. Motor. You son of a bitch. Seeing Chen Yiban's continued slaughter, Tsunade, with a furious look on her face, gathered all her strength into a super-strength fist, a pain delivery kick. In response, Chen Yiban, after cutting down another ANBU, spun around and punched with fluid motion, boom, boom. Fists met kick, Chen Yiban's fists were more than a match for her. How can this be? Seeing her kick blocked by his punch, Tsunade felt shocked, enraged, and frustrated, but before Tsunade could react, boom. Chen Yiban grabbed her ankle and slammed her into the ground. The ground cratered, the shockwave threw nearby ninja back. Ugh! Even with the creation rebirth jutsu active, Tsunade groaned in pain. Multi-size technique. A member of the Akimichi clan, having grown to giant size, tried to rescue Tsunade. Chen Yiban ignored the hand seals. In a heartbeat, more than a dozen shadow clone Chen Yiban materialized, each emanating strong blue chakra, forming Susanoo's second stage. They blocked all approaching Konoha ninja, including the Akimichi. Then, bang, Tsunade tried a surprise attack. But Chen Yiban casually blocked it with one hand. He then gripped her wrist, stopping any retreat. Tsunade surged chakra, trying to break free with brute strength, but Chen Yiban's power was greater, and she couldn't move. Like I said, the only one who can even give me pause is Hashirama. And you're just a washed-up has-been, Chen Yiban sneered, his eyes locked on Tsunade. During the fight, Chen Yiban had momentarily stored his weapons in the system inventory. Tsunade had seen it, and it surprised her. But now was not the time to worry about that. Shut up. Tsunade raged at his words. She raised her other fist, ready to strike. But, boom, before her fist landed, Chen Yiban's brown-gloved fist slammed into her stomach. Ugh! Tsunade doubled over, coughing up blood. Even with creation rebirth healing her, it couldn't keep up with the force of Chen Yiban's punch. Hokage-sama. Kakashi, Hizashi Hyuga, Shikaku Nara, and many other Konoha ninja cried out in alarm, but Chen Yiban's dozen shadow clones, each with Susanoo's second stage, protected him. No one could get close to rescue Tsunade. Too weak. Is this the famed fifth Hokage? Chen Yiban, gripping Tsunade's throat, lifted her off the ground, a mocking look on his face as she struggled. You. The pain in her stomach made her speechless. Staring into his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Tsunade felt a chill. Next, I might need you. So, like the Nine Tails, surrender. Chen Yiban raised two fingers, his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan blazing. He prepared to use his eternal Mangekyo Genjutsu to control Tsunade. You. Tsunade felt a surge of inexplicable fear. Ultimate Rasengan. Suddenly, a figure launched a swift, powerful attack on Chen Yiban. Chen Yiban had been about to use his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan on Tsunade, and hadn't anticipated anyone bypassing his shadow clones, but, as the attack struck, Chen Yiban instantly activated Susanoo's blue skeletal armor, defended. Even so, the surprise attack forced Chen Yiban back a considerable distance within Susanoo.